Okay, this is part 3 of the whole story that I'm gonna be telling. So this is of my sister Zainab. She was born in 2018, March 12th, and she let's guess what happened to her. Let's guess what happened to her, guys. The exact same thing. 6 months hit and her heart failed. And again, the same case that happened with me. The doctor said that she just has a flu. In the end, her heart failed. Was failing. We kind of had experience from me and Fatma. Well, my parents had experience from me and Fatma. So they were like, no, we know what's going on. We've seen this twice. You have to check. Came back with the results, and yep, heart was failing. So no shock. However, this time was really different. I was 9, Fatma was about 4. No, she was about 5, 6 when she was born. When she got diagnosed with the heart, my mom and dad, for me and Fatma, they immediately said yes to the heart transplant. They were like, we'll try heart transplant. For Zainab, they didn't. They said, we don't know if we want to do it, because we've already been through 2 girls, we've already been through a lot, so we don't know if we want to do it for her. She was in the bed and the doctors were waiting for their answer. They were waiting for them to sign the papers that they want to let her go. And this is probably the rudest thing that I've done to my parents so far in my life. 9 years of my life, this is probably the rudest thing that I've done to my parents. They were on call. My mom was on call with her mother, and she said, she was talking to her, and she was like, should I go for it? Should I do it? I don't know if I should do it. Like, we've already been through it twice. I don't know if I want to do it again. All that kind of stuff. And my dad was doubting himself too, and the papers were actually already signed. And the doctor, like, thank God, he said, I will give you a few more minutes. I will give you 10-20 more minutes just to confirm that you want to do this. In his heart, he didn't want us to do that either, but obviously he has no say in what the parents say. So he was like, I'll give you 10-15 more minutes just to think, just to really solidify your answer before you go through this. So my mom was on call with her mom and all the relatives behind, saying, don't do it, you've already been through so much, you don't want to be through it again, all that kind of stuff. Here is where I come into the picture. We've got a room and there's a bed in there. There's a separate bed, and then there's Zainab's bed, and then there's a few chairs. I was really sick that day. I had a really high fever and I had a full-on chest infection. I don't even know how they let me into the hospital, but I was there. And I was like half dying on the bed. And I remember my mom just crying and saying, I don't know if I should go through it, like, blah, 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 and her relatives saying, don't do it, don't do it. I got really mad. I'm like, who are they to tell us what to do? So I snatched the phone from my mom and I turned it off and I put her phone away. And my mom was shocked, because I never did anything like that. She was like, what are you doing? And I sit my mom and dad both down and I look them dead in the eye and I say, what are you doing? Like, that's all I say. What are you doing? My mom stops crying. My dad stops, just kind of freezes. I'm like, you guys fought for us. You guys fought for me and Fatma with no hesitation. And look at the outcome. You guys fought. You guys put through it. You guys did everything you can. And look, Allah made us healthy again. Allah gave us a heart. Allah provided us a new life. And you're telling me you're just not gonna fight for her? Like, what is she gonna think? Like, if you let her go in the afterlife, do you think she might not question you? Do you think Allah might not question you on why you chose us to save but not her? And I was like, you don't need anyone else's opinion. That's your daughter. You make the decision. it's your life, it's your daughter. Who is anyone else to say anything? And I got really mad. I was like, you fought for us, why not fight for her? You know, yes, she might not live, but what if she does? You had that doubt with me and Fatma, and look, Allah gave you two beautiful daughters. What if Allah wants to give you a third and it's just really testing you? And that's when it hit them. I kind of saved my sister, and that's when it hit them. And my mom just hugged me and she cried a lot, and she was like, you brought us to our senses. You were like, what were we doing? Like, she looked at my dad, she was like, what were we doing? I can't believe we were gonna do that. And then the doctor comes in and he's like, what's your final decision? And my dad goes, we wanna go for the transplant. And I kid you not, that doctor had tears in his eyes. He was like, thank God. I just know he was saying thank God to it. And yeah, so she went on the heart transplant team. She went on the list, and it was a really nice thing because, you know, it was a really nice time that we spent with her. I think she was the least worrisome, easiest baby to have amongst me and Fatma. Amongst us three, I think she was the most smooth, no complications, nothing. The most smoothest baby ever. We would walk in, and I was in year 6 at the time, and that doesn't correlate, guys. I can't do maths. I was in year 6 and I was 9. Yeah, she was born 2018. I was 9 years old. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I was in year 6, 5, 6, whatever. And she was the best little sister I could want. So was Fatma, alhamdulillah. But she was like a different piece. Like, she was always bubbly, always smiling, had these beautiful long lashes. Everyone would compliment her lashes so well. She had like, literally, it would look like she was wearing false lashes. I'm not even joking. She definitely got it from her mum. Me, I think I have long lashes too, but that's besides the point. Fatma has really long lashes too, but you know, if you see my mum's, they're like false lashes. I'm not even joking. And yeah, she stayed in the hospital for 1 year waiting for the transplant, and we visibly saw that the transplant list got longer and longer and longer each time. I mean, you can see for yourself. 2009, I only had to wait 2 months. 2012, when Fatma was there, I remember now she had to wait for 6 months, and then here 1 year. So, you know, it was really long. And now the waiting list is about 2 years, which is absolutely insane. So just pray for everyone who's going through that. You know, may Allah help you. So yeah, we waited 1 year for her. Every single day we would come back from school, we would go to school, my mom would go to the hospital, my dad would stay at home and work because he was self-employed. And my dad would pick us from school, and he would get some, like, either my mom would go home and make lunch, make some food, and then we would all, or my dad would just buy some, and we would all go out to, we would all go to hospital with Zainab, and we would just all eat around her, we would all play around her. And on weekends, me and Mama, we stayed, sometimes Fatma too, we stayed with her in the hospital the whole day, every single day, on the weekend, in the holidays, literally all the time. I would love spending time with her. So did Fatma, so did my dad, and we just all like had a lovely time with her. She was so bubbly and giggly and just so cute, mashallah. Like, she would be in her little cot, and we would like sneak up, and she would always watch Frozen, and it was our favorite film, and she would just be watching, and she would like have her foot in her mouth and God knows what. And when she would see her, she would like start kicking, and she would get excited. And she was just like the most beautiful baby, like mashallah, mashallah. Strength, her courage to go through everything. It was really beautiful. 1 year we waited and waited and waited, and she unfortunately needed to get her pipes changed. That same procedure that Fatma has been under 19 times. It's just a simple standard procedure. It should take about 2-3 hours. Now the thing is, Zainab's case was a little bit more rare. I don't know how. I don't know how it was, but there was something to do. I think it is that our left sides were just affected, but her left and right were affected. I'm pretty sure that's how it was. So yeah, so in the hospital they told us that the pipes were clotting up a little bit more, so we needed the procedure done. We were like, okay, yeah, sure. So I remember for that procedure you can't eat anything, you can only drink, and Zainab was actually really hungry that day, and I felt really bad because I would give her she couldn't eat anything, and she would be like she would pat her stomach, and like a 1-year-old patting her stomach saying that I'm hungry, and she would come up to my dad and she would like point at her pipes, and she would be like here, I can't show you my stomach, but she would be like pointing to her pipes, and because they hurted, because they were all like swollen and like just gushed, and just like they were all like swollen and heavy and hurting. And this girl, you know what she would do? She would take her pipes and she would lift them up in the air and start swinging them around, and we'd be like, this is why you like your pipes are so swollen there. So yeah. It's hard times. It's really hard times. And yeah, so we just thought she was going in for a standard procedure, and it was really sad because she was really hungry that day. So we, dal, we took a little bit of that. Dal is like, how do I explain it to anyone else? I'm pretty sure you know what. If you don't know what dal is, please go search it up. But we took some dal and we just made her suck the spices and like the masala out of it, and she really liked it, and she had like so much of them. So that's the only thing she ate. She went into the procedure perfectly fine, and then the procedure lasts about 3 or 4 hours. So my dad was like to my mom, let's go home, wait for the procedure to be done, then we can come back. My mom was washing the dishes, me and father were watching cartoons, Baba was doing some work. Mama got a voice in her head it was Zainab's voice, and she screamed mama. She was like, mama, and Mama stopped what she was doing. She knew something was wrong. Mom instinct, they just know when something's wrong. So my mom was like, Adnan, something's wrong, something is wrong, I feel like something's not right. And he goes, you worry too much, don't worry. My dad goes off to play badminton. Little did he know he was gonna get a call later from my mom. The doctors, they called my mom and they were like, okay, so you need to come now. And my mom was like, oh my god, is she okay? And they were like, just come, we'll explain everything. So my dad comes, and then we all go to the hospital. I'm still in my pajamas, and one thing that I won't ever forget is they lied to us. They said that there was something wrong with her in the procedure, and she became fully paralyzed, and she became brain dead, like actually became brain dead and fully paralyzed head to toe. And they said that something with her went wrong, and we were about to get up with the fact that this was Allah's plan. Then a doctor stopped us, and she said that, I want to tell you the truth. The truth was actually, like I told you, she had a very rare case. They put her in a room, in a surgery room, with a junior doctor. Now the junior doctor just thought that this was a normal case, but he didn't know, which I really do not know how you don't know being a doctor, but you know, you do you. Actually, no, you don't do you, because you're putting an innocent baby's life at risk. But in the end, we just kind of say it's God's plan. So she tells us the truth that the junior doctor was put in the room to do surgery, and he put the left pipe on the right side and the right pipe on the left side, and he panicked because he realized that he did it wrong. 20 minutes oxygen didn't go into her brain because her heart wasn't working. Her heart was just beating on its own, and if it's not working, it's not going to work properly, is it? So, you know, they were trying to get another surgeon in as quick as possible. It took them 20 minutes. By the time they did everything right, she was completely brain dead. That girl who was smiling and laughing and was always bubbly and giggly, and the last time we saw her was when she was asking for food because she was hungry, and she was pointing to her pipes because they hurted. That is the last thing that we saw of her, and the next time we see her, she's completely brain dead. And I'm pretty sure, I was only young, I was like 10, 11, and pretty sure my dad sued them, or something went on about that, because they lied and then they put a junior doctor in a rare case. So obviously, you know, you have to take action somewhere, and he's a dad. He's not just going to let his daughter, you know, go like that. So then, after all the explanation and all that kind of stuff, we had a choice to keep her on the transplant list. However, she would be completely disabled, completely dependent on my parents. She would not be able to live a normal life at all. So we could choose that, and she would be alive, or we could choose to let her go. And it was really hard for my parents. They didn't want her to have a life where she couldn't be, where she had to be dependent on others. That wasn't the life that my parents wanted for her. So they decided to let her go. It's really hard for someone to do that to their child, but it was the best, because it would be hard for her and it would be hard for us. So on Monday someday in October, we knew that this is the day that the doctors were going to stop the pipes, stop her heart basically. And the doctor said that she is going to die within about 2 hours. Now, we were at school, me and Fatima, and a friend came to pick us up, and we stayed at their house and all that kind of stuff. This girl who was told by our parents told the doctors that she only had 2 hours, you know, maximum 2 hours 30, because her heart's really weak. This girl, mashallah, she survived 5 hours on her heart alone. No pipes, no machines, nothing, just her little baby heart all alone. And she survived 5 hours, and she shocked everyone. Everyone was expecting her to go by, like, you know, about 12 p.m. This girl survived until 4:30 p.m. She passed away really smoothly. You know, may Allah grant her Jannat, inshallah. And yeah, it's been 7 years. Still think about her to this day. You know, I loved spending time with her. So yeah, we came back from school and we go to our friend's house, and we go to the hospital, and I just see her, like, dead on the bed, and everyone surrounding her, around her. It was just really sad moment. I couldn't take it, and I'm really weak. I literally couldn't take it. I just ran out the room and I just started crying, because she was really close to me. Like, I loved her, I loved spending time with her. So it was so bad, and I was just 10, so seeing your sister die is not that easy. it's not that easy, especially when you know that she's gonna die, because we knew that her pipes were gonna get turned off on Monday, so we knew that she wasn't gonna survive a lot. So, you know, but after, you know, after everything we've been through, I just kind of accepted the fact that it's all Allah. You know, I have no right to meddle with his plans. I just have to go with it, asking for help, asking for guidance, and just keep my faith on him, and inshallah everything will work out. So yeah, we took a trip to Pakistan, like about a month later, just to kind of visit family, to take our mind off things, you know, to ease our hearts. And yeah, alhamdulillah, it was a good time. So yeah, that was the story of Zainab, a beautiful, young, lively girl who is now in Jannat and heaven. I can't wait to see you in heaven, inshallah. You know, you've played your part in this world, now we just have to play it right. So yeah, that's Zainab, and now it is time for the last part of the story, my dad. And I'm going to be sharing you his story. I've told you guys how significant he was, how amazing, how strong, how devoted to Allah he was. So his story is the best story. Honestly, in the series, his story is the best. But yeah, I'm gonna share that story with you now. Bye bye.